Welcome everybody.
Hello,
What?
Hello, everybody. Have a happy unicorn day. You can't see her.
I was gonna say, I don't think your unicorn can even see anything.
1 second.
So, there, now you can kind of see, huh?
I can't see.
I think she's having a hard time. I don't think her face is built the same way for that mask. Good.
I'm not pointing that. Bye
So
bye.
what's the unicorn of the week? Who's
Cotton
this?
Candy. She is the unicorn of the week. Ta-da! Except she has
The quarantine unicorn of the week.
I'm not going to keep the mask on. I'm just having it on right now. But it didn't really work.
No, not so well. Okay, go ahead and go put it away.
Okay. Can I have her around?
We're gonna be soldering today.
So I can't have her.
Yeah, I wouldn't put her up here. Okay.
What happened to that?
I don't know. No, just hold on.
We were
No, let's just hang on, dude.
Why?
Go take care of your stuff. Hello, everybody. Now that we've got some of the wiggles out of the way. So the girls finished up their pendants last week. It was kind of fun and exciting to watch them go through that process. And I feel like they did a really, really good job. And so these are their finished pendants. Let's see if you guys can see those very well. Check these out. And they do such a good job on those. I was so excited for them. So their jump rings are on there now. We decided to just do that for the bail. That's a pretty beginner thing to do, just a jump ring for a bail. Shh. Girl, she makes so much noise. It's a pretty beginner thing, and eventually you start, once you've got, you get more comfortable with your skills, then you begin to move on and do more stuff. Good heavens, Kiari.
being noisy.
She is being so noisy. So they're saying that they're hoping that you're feeling better. So, a little bit. Yeah, matter of fact, so we went and we did, they did a nerve block on her. And if you guys have never done a nerve block, I mean, it's painful to watch, especially as a mom, because they do 2 shots in the back of the neck and then 3 on each side of her head. And
What about in the front?
It's not fun, but I will tell you what,
Did they do some in the front?
they did them here on the side of her head.
What about in the
But you want to know, by the time we left that doctor's office, she was a totally different kid. And by night, she was back to herself and being fun and laughing at friends and her sisters and stuff like that. So it really sucks to do it, huh? But aren't you glad that we have that as an option? Not quite. So, but anyway, so at least it gives us some relief, huh? Yeah, it gives a little bit of relief.
Then she continued to have a headache.
Yeah, you had a different headache this weekend. Kate doesn't have very good luck with headaches. You just kicked me. No, don't kick me. That hurts.
Sorry.
Okay, so today
decided I'm allergic to this week.
you're allergic to the week. No, not this week. Because
Last
today is Monday. Last week you could be allergic to last week, not this week. This week you have to have a good week.
Okay.
So today what I figured we would do is, let's see, let me switch it over. Well, you can't take all the beads. I was about to switch it over to this camera, silly.
Okay.
Let's see, which camera are we on? This one. So let me zoom in a little bit here and show you kind of what we have. So this used to be a workshop that I used to teach. Yeah, a little bit. We'll pull it out just a smidge. So this was a workshop that I used to teach, and I just found the little box that I stored all of my pieces in, so they're completely oxidized and tarnished.
What's that mean?
Oxidized, see how they look all kind of gungy and yucky, and then some of these look kind of nice? It's because we already took this little polishing pad and we cleaned them up a little bit. You want to do some? Okay, you clean that one.
Can I clean? Is this one dirty?
Yes, you
wanna
can
do
clean
this
that one.
one.
Okay,
Because it
you
has
clean that
nuts
one. Okay, so the class that I used to teach was a bead making class. What?
It looks like the stuff that thread goes on to.
That what goes on to?
My thread goes
Oh, it looks like a bobbin, huh? Yeah. Yeah, so we used to talk about all kinds of different beads and how to make them. So in this case, it started out as a tube, and we just put these little rings on. So you know what this is like? It's like your spinner ring. You know what I mean? Just a small scale spinner ring. So there's stuff like that where you can just kind of start with a piece of tubing like this. Then we also have beads like this where I have a couple of washers and a big piece of tubing. You stick it through and you flare the ends. So what is that like creating? Can you tell me what that process is? Think about when you mushroom something or you flare it out to do what? Yeah, show them. Put it right here.
Camera.
Yeah, so it's like doing a rivet, and that's exactly what it was. It was a big rivet. So you have so many different options. Now, today we're not going to get into the ones that have the rivets because those can be a little bit more technically challenging. So we are going to do these beads called lentil beads. Okay, and lentil bead, yeah, that's exactly what I was about to explain. Why is it called lentil? And that is because we have, it looks like a lentil. What's a lentil? It's a bean. Okay, so it's just kind of this little lower dome. So notice that it's not like a full round bead, although I do have some of those that are a little bit closer to that, right? So, but it's not a complete full round or full circle. So we have this lentil, and this is actually one of the shapes that we use a lot when we're making lockets, where it's domed a little bit on either side, but not too high, not too steep. Okay, and in these, notice that there are some little holes here, and that's so that I can run a string through it or something else like that.
It's hard.
It's hard to polish them, isn't it? Oh, but look how nice that looks now, Kiari. Good job.
I didn't finish it though.
That's okay. You did a great job.
At first I thought this was connected.
Nope, two different things.
If it was, that would... Maybe we should try that.
Well, and so, you know, let me show you guys, though, a couple different things. So as we talk about making these beads,
mushroomed out.
it is. This one is mushroomed out, right? So we've got, instead of our domes fitting together, they come out to the outside, and you can still put your rivet in there and make your bead that way. So again, you have a lot of different options, but today we're going to concentrate on these, and these are soldered. All the rest of these are cold connected. Do you remember what a cold connection is? So Kiara, do you remember what a cold connection is?
No.
Okay, well, a cold connection is when you have something that holds something else together, but it doesn't require the use of heat. No soldering, no torching to ball up the ends or anything like that, right? So it's a cold connection. Well, in this case, we're going to do hot connections because we're going to do the soldered lentil beads. And I have here 2 pieces of metal, and I've already textured them because we wanted to kind of keep lower on time today. So I've already patterned these. I've also annealed them. What does it mean when you anneal something?
It made you dance.
It makes you dance? No.
Instead of me, you dance.
When you anneal something? Yeah, you're kind of silly. So when we anneal something, we take some, in this case, our metal. We take our metal that is extremely hard because of the process of rolling it through the rolling mill. So this is what we're going to create today, Kiari. Okay.
Can I make a heart one?
No, we're going to use these 2 metals here. So it becomes hardened because we rolled it through the rolling mill. And then we want it to be softer and a little bit more pliable so we can shape it, because we have to create this dome somehow.
Yeah.
And if it is hard, it's not going to take that shape very well, right?
Yes.
I'll do
Okay.
this one.
Okay, well, you're going to do one of each because one's copper, one is silver. So one's going to be on the front side, one will be on the back side. Do you know what this pattern is called? So this is a new
Bubble
pattern.
pattern.
No, this is a new pattern that I got from Roberta Peel.
Rock pattern?
It's not. It's called toad skin. Do you know why I picked this pattern?
Why did you pick toad skin?
Because you're a toad.
Did you know they used to think that if you touched a toad, you would get a wart where you touched it?
Are you sure they don't? Or are you sure they don't give you warts?
Not true.
It's not true. How do you know?
It's not true.
How do you know?
Because you can't get warts.
Sure, you can get warts.
No, not from a toad.
How do you know?
Because I'm touching you and...
And you're a toad?
Yeah, that's what you always say, and you've never got warts from me.
You're right. I've never gotten warts from you. Thank you.
So it's not true.
Either that or else maybe you're not a toad. Maybe you're a warthog.
No.
Okay, so Negotiator says hello and happy Unicorn Day.
Thank you.
Look, we even got some that are kitties. You can't be goofing off, baby. All right, so what we need to do first is we are going to be, Alice says she's a toad lover. So, no wonder she likes you so much. Right? Okay, so first thing we need to do is we are going to cut out our discs. In this case, we're going to go with 1 inch because I want us to do a little bit larger bead. So this would be more like a focal bead or something like that. Yes, Kiari started my paintbrush on fire today.
On accident.
One of her teachers came over from school today just to kind of do some FaceTime with the kids because she's missing them a lot. And so, no, it's the wrong camera. It's this camera up here.
On fire while I was doing history homework, huh?
Yep. So she wanted to show her teacher that she could make balls. And we learned the importance of watching what?
Your flame?
Yes, we learned the
accidentally cut it
importance of watching where our flame is.
Who's the one couple?
Yes. So you do need to be very cautious.
Thank you, Mommy, a new paintbrush.
I don't have money.
So Alice, in answer to your question, these are, they are
still
22
useful.
gauge,
You can still
which
use
is also, let's grab our caliper here. Okay, so 22 gauge, which is 0.7 millimeters. Yeah, about 0.6, about 0.7 millimeters is what these are. Now, when I did my classes before, these were 20 gauge. Okay, so you can do whatever gauge you want, whatever thickness. If you have the heavier metal or the thicker metal, obviously your bead is going to have a bit more weight to them, but you can do it with some thinner ones as well. And the thing that's even nice with some of the thinner ones is that because of this convex shape or convex shape that we're creating, it has a lot of strength. Okay, so anytime you get that kind of a bowl shape, you've got a lot of strength. So you can actually get away with thinner metals than not having that. So, okay, so first thing we need to do is we need to cut out our discs. Now, when we cut out our discs, Kate, you want to switch this over to that camera on the bottom, please? Yep, thank you. So when we do this, what we want to have is we're going to have our metal where we want our first piece, right? What do we need to have on the opposite side of this, girls?
Another piece of metal that's the same gauge.
Right. Why do we need another piece of metal the same gauge on the other side?
I forgot what.
It's because it acts as a shim and it's going to keep the top of our disc cutter level.
Yeah, and if one was bigger than the other, then that one would, it would make the thing go higher.
You're making an awful lot of
The
noise.
other one might not even get hit.
Okay, so what hammer do I need to hit this with, baby? Which one do I need?
That one.
We want our stamping hammer.
No, don't use that side.
Yeah, I want the brass side.
Oh, I thought you. I forgot which side it was.
Yes, we want the brass side for this, right?
Yeah. I
Okay, so
forgot.
that it doesn't damage our
forgot.
punch. Okay.
It's been a while since I've used.
Okay. And I was
Since
not.
I've used that or seen it.
And I didn't hit very hard, so that's why it took a few to get through.
But it
And
hurt.
especially when you are doing larger pieces. Okay, do you want to try this, baby? You ready? You might have to stand up so that you're at the right height.
Okay.
Here you go. Okay, make sure you only hit right here, all right? You're gonna have to hit it kind of hard, so you might need both hands, sweetheart. That's kind of a heavy hammer. Okay, try again, and again. Keep going until you get through. Okay, hit it really hard. Okay, one more time. There you go. I knew you could get it.
I want to do it again. It's fun.
All right, so pull out your piece. All right, Miss Kate, come punch out yours. Let's see here.
I wanted to try.
Well, it's Kate's turn.
I thought you said we were going to do one of each.
We are. Okay, so you need to give it a really good heavy hit. You might need to stand up too, Kate.
Mommy,
What?
Siri turned on.
Uh-oh. Who turned on Siri?
Gosh, I keep hitting it. It keeps sliding off.
One more. Really good one.
God.
Come on, pretend you're ticked off. There you go.
I'm mad at that.
Okay, so now we have...
I wanna do it.
Hang on. Now we have our 3 silver ones. Let's move this over. And we'll swap places with these. And we will do 3 copper ones.
Sound like a puppy. Mama, did we adopt a puppy?
No, we have a fish that's a puppy. It thinks it's a puppy.
I
Okay.
want to do it. I want to do it, please.
You want to do this? Okay.
Hey, look!
No, they can't see. They can't see her. So go ahead and strike this. We'll get it in just a second. Okay, wow.
That's how much energy I had.
Is that how much energy you had?
I actually have
job.
even more.
Yeah?
I'm
You know
gonna
what?
hammer it.
Okay. So there is this. Kate, I want you to move this, please, so that it is lined up to the next one. You're going to have to go to the side on that. And don't hit that yet. Let's see.
I had to go in front of the screen to make sure it's...
Yep, you're okay. That's all right. I can hear this kind of rattling a little bit. I think we've knocked our hammer loose just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
I might have done
There you go.
She left us.
Yeah, that's okay. No, it's Kate's turn. No, just
Yeah,
come.
no, I'm trying.
Pretend you're really ticked off at it. One more time. See, sometimes you just got to be mad enough, right?
Can I do
trying
it
to make
again?
sure I wouldn't, like...
Can I do it again, please?
Why?
Because I have so much energy.
You have so much energy.
Mhm.
All right, you do this last one for us. Do it right in the center of it. There you go. Nice job. Okay. So now we
That was
have.
fun. I want to do it again
Was that fun?
sometime.
Yeah, you like that? Kind of fun to do, isn't it?
Especially because
So if you ever want a really good exercise in working out some energy, you can hammer things. It's really good.
it helps
So
me get
as
my
you can
energy.
see, we've got a little photo bomber.
Her
So
name is Riley.
this is Riley. For those of y'all who didn't realize it, I actually have an older one. She's been away at school and college. So welcome back, Riley.
Yeah,
You can have a seat. There's a stool there.
or I can just sit here like this because I'm gonna head back upstairs.
Oh, okay. So Riley is my puzzle doer, and I got her some very, very complex
Excellent.
wooden puzzles that are all 3D and everything. Matter of fact, the one when she gets done is going to be a working clock. So Glenda, you said that you got your disc cutters. No, I know Pepe says that you no longer need a shim because there are the 3 connectors in here. Okay, so you do have 3 pins in here. So this is going to remain a lot more straight than a disc cutter that only has the 2 guiding pins. I still always shim it, okay, because there is still a little bit of give there on those. So your best practices are still going to be to shim your
Are
piece.
we gonna make some other, like another time? Are we gonna make some more of these or like smaller holes?
We can, but not right now. Okay, because right now we're only going to have enough time to do 1. All right. So what do you guys think we need to do now that we've got our discs?
Attach them.
We do need to dome them. And you know what? Like when we hammered down so hard, I have a couple of these that have a little bit of an edge to those. And part of that is because my disc cutter is older and it's had a lot of abuse from students and other people not using it quite properly. So yeah, I know, darn it. They put your punching upside down, they smack it with the hammer. See, not all of these need it, but there's a couple here that need just a little bit of help. And it happens, you know, as you begin to use your tool, it will start to kind of deteriorate a little bit, for the lack of a better word. It's not that it's deteriorating, but it wears. You know, all of your tools are going to have a bit of wear and tear on them. So just be aware that that is something that can happen. All right, so I just wanted to take off any edges that were sharp. I think we've got all of our comments so far.
Yay, another daughter.
I know.
Julissa.
I know, she's kind of a bum. That's okay, this isn't really her thing. So Riley is studying mechanical engineering, but she has always, ever since she was a baby, her favorite thing to do were puzzles. You know, so anytime you had any of the toys where you had to fit a shape in there or anything like that, that was totally her thing. She loved it.
Puzzles, but not that kind of puzzle.
Oh yeah, no, and Riley, like if it doesn't have 5,000 pieces, she's like over it. The more the merrier. And so we've been doing...
The more the barrier?
The more the barrier. The more the merrier. More pieces, the merrier. And so I've actually been doing puzzles that are three-dimensional, but they're kind of hard to find, like a good three-dimensional puzzle that will keep her entertained. So I found these puzzles that are wood, and you have to kind of punch them out, and then you have to assemble them. And the one, she's totally into Dungeons and Dragons. And so the one,
Is it dice holder?
yeah, it holds her dice, and it like opens up and everything, so it's all gear-based. And then the other one that's really kicking her butt right now is a clock. Like you wind it up and it's an actual pendulum clock, and it's totally kicking her trash. It's kind of fun because nothing kicks her butt. So it's kind of fun to watch this. You're gonna be back, but we're about to do this.
1 second.
Okay. All right. So what we are going to be working with here is we're gonna work with our dapping set. So I've got my Durston dapping set here. This is the one, I believe it has like 24 punches. And it starts, I think it starts at like 3 millimeter, goes up to 50 millimeters, so it's a 2-inch dap. And what we want to do here is we need to dap our discs. Now, Kate, do you remember what we talked about when we were talking about dapping before?
Start smaller and then go bigger.
Yeah, we want to start a little more shallow. Now, Kate, if I wanted to punch, or if I want to dap this, how does this need to be put into, which camera are we on here? Okay, there, I see which camera we're on. So if I want to dap this, which side do I need to put in here? Are you coming? Yeah,
You put it that
we want our design face down. Why do we want the design face down?
so it doesn't get damaged.
Yes. Now, another thing that we need to do too, in addition to kind of finding our punch that fits in here, if I do this right here, what is going to happen?
What do you mean?
What will happen to our design? If we pinch our design on our metal in between a steel block and a steel punch, what's going to happen to our design?
Flatten.
It's going to move it. Yeah, it's going to remove and make our design kind of flatten out. So what can we do to avoid that?
You could put something in between it.
Yes, put something in between it. And in this case, we're going to use a small piece of leather.
You've
Yep.
stolen some leather.
What?
You've stolen some leather.
I stole leather? I actually paid for this with my own money. Thank you very much. I don't steal leather. Who did I steal it from?
From the leather box.
Yes, but I paid for that leather box. Okay.
Saying it's stuff from the
So,
leather box that was stolen from the
what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this little layer of leather right here. Okay. Once we have that, then I can put my block in here, and I can use whatever kind of hammer. So in this case, I'll just go ahead and use the stamping hammer. Now, I am going to move this around, okay, so that I make certain I get a nice dome on our piece. And at that point, I'm kind of liking that, but it's still a bit too shallow, but that's what this cavity is able to do.
Can I say something?
What are you gonna say?
May the force be with you.
No, it's not May the 4th.
It's May the 4th.
May the 4th. Do you know why they say May the 4th
I
be
thought
with
it
you?
was May the force be with you.
But why do they say that on today?
Because it's the 4th.
It's the 4th
And it's
of May.
May.
May 4th.
May
So-
4th.
Yep.
Then why do they say
Sue Ellen, you're asking how Kate's feeling today. Luckily, she's feeling a lot better than she was yesterday, or well, even yesterday, over the weekend. All right, so who's next? Who gets to try this next?
I want to.
You want to try it? Okay. So here, you know, our domes are very even with each other. So again, we're just taking it all the way down to the bottom of our dapping set. Okay, you do this.
Should I stand up?
Maybe. Here you go. Kate, why don't you go over and get the 1 pound hammer? This is the 2 pound and it's kind of heavy for you guys.
Yeah, I'll wear those.
I don't
Just
want
right
to
here
hit
on, don't hit me then. Okay, you don't have to hit hard, so just go ahead and, yes, good. Now let's see, wait, stop, stop. Okay, so it's not quite there yet, so we're gonna move it and we're gonna come down on it again. Okay, stop.
Where is the hammer?
Look by the disc cutters. It's on the bottom row of the hammer rack. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, good. So now we have a silver one as well. That one can be a little bit more. Silver is going to be a little bit stiffer than the copper. Did you find it? Okay, let's try this other hammer for you. Because I think this one's a bit heavy. Thank you.
Woo!
There you go. That one's a little better.
This side,
Okay,
right?
so yes, on the brass side. Okay. Let's see. All right, come down
I
again.
like this hammer.
Yeah, well, you know what? I need you to be a little bit more careful because if you hammer my hands, we're all in trouble. Okay, Kate's turn. Okay, so come and go ahead and hammer that down. Okay, keep going. Yeah. All right, now go again. So you want to just test this out. So now these girls are not hitting this directly on. You know, both of them are kind of trying to be a little bit careful. Okay, I know. The best thing to do is to hit this head on. So that way, then you get a better uniform
do one
shape.
more?
No, it's Kate's turn.
Oh.
All right, so Kate, try again. This time I want you to hold the punch. Okay, it helps when you're holding the punch because then you really have a good feel for what's going on with it. Now see, you can hear when you hit too, right? So you can tell when it's domed a bit. Doesn't mean it's done, but you can tell by the change of the sound when things are done. Okay, good. Now, if we were to do a recorded video, this is where I would like take the time and get the rest of this done up so that you don't have to wait for it all. But since it's a live video, sorry, y'all have to wait as we go through the steps on this. Now, I'm making a pretty big leap to this particular hole.
But we kind of have to because it's live.
Yeah, otherwise we're going to be sitting here hammering for all day long. So we're going to go ahead and make a pretty big jump and we'll see how that goes.
Do is we could have had already done that before the video.
I know, but I was in the middle of doing other stuff. So see how the dome on this changes now? See how much more domed that is? And I know that that's probably hard to see on the video, but even on the video you can see that this one has a smaller diameter than this one. This camera up here.
This one?
Yeah. So,
second.
no, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
I can see if I can.
No, just
show
leave it.
a little bit more.
Nope. So I'm going to go ahead and just do these since I'm a little bit faster than you guys on this part. Okay. So that one looks great too. And I don't think we'll go any further than this. We'll just kind of leave them at this larger lentil. Okay, there's our 3 copper pieces. And now if we take, just to show you guys, like if we take these copper pieces and put them together, you can see that they actually start to match up. Okay, so maybe, and this is where we'll have to kind of start testing things too, to see if things need to be domed a little bit more or whatever. You gonna use my caliper, baby? Kate, why don't you switch it over to this camera for me, please? Thanks. And that way then they can see a little bit better. So when I put this in here, after I've domed it too, you know, without the leather, I can really see a little bit better if something has kind of an off shape. Okay. I don't know, we might have to go just a little bit further on these too, just to take them a little bit deeper. Otherwise it's a really flat lentil, and that could be okay too if that's what you want. Especially as kind of a focal, it's not too bad. All right, so if I take these now and I match up a copper and a silver, I can see in this case my silver sits out just a little bit more than my copper does, at least on this piece. So let's try another pair. Okay, and the same here.
Mommy, look.
And the same here. So the copper, yes, formed a little bit deeper than the silver. Do you know why? The silver is a little bit harder to push. Okay, it's going to be a little bit stiffer, has a little bit more resistance. So my two options here, my main one is to bring it back in here, and I can even come in with a little smaller punch and just kind of work on this just a little bit more and just kind of work it around into the cavity of our DAP. Okay, and then we'll pull it out and see how it matches up. And I'm still just a little bit larger than my copper. I'm going to leave this for now. Okay, we'll just kind of use that as our ledge for our solder, and we'll kind of go with it. But these others do need to still come down a little bit more, because if there's too much of a ledge there on that silver, when you go to solder, it's not going to solder properly. Okay, so we definitely need to have that. We want them to be pretty close, and ideally they would be the same. Okay, so in here, that one's looking a lot better, but I have a little wrinkle in this one. So I'm going to put that wrinkle right there. I'm going to hammer the wrinkle out. Okay, and then the last one really fast. So you see how we can change this up, Kate? So if things are still too big, what do you do? What are your options? If things are too big, like let's say that we wanted to put this silver with this copper, and let's say my silver, oh that's perfect. But let's say my copper or my silver is bigger than the other one. What are my options to do?
Keep hammering.
Yeah, you can keep hammering on that, right, with a smaller DAP, a smaller punch to kind of get those into place, or you can move to a smaller little half sphere, right? Okay, so now we are done with our dapping set. Now, could I have done this with a wooden dapping set? Do you remember my wooden ones? They're kind of shallow. Maybe. Yes, you could, but what would be the difference?
Maybe it takes longer?
No, not necessarily would it take longer, but it's going to be more shallow. Okay, so what we have here is pretty shallow, and this is probably what we could get out of one of the wooden ones, right? Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need our edges. Oh, did our mic die? No. You guys lost sound? How weird. Okay, that's really odd.
Turn up that.
No, our thing is, has the sound come back yet? No? There's a couple of you guys that are saying that you've lost sound. Weird. What's going on? Let's see. Very, very quiet. How odd is this?
Go up?
Yeah, did you bump this? Let's see if that worked. Does that work for anybody? Is it just low? Okay, so hopefully now it's better. And the screen is freezing. How interesting. Okay, at least we're back. Somebody bumped the mic sound.
No.
Well, you're the only one over there messing with stuff. When you change the camera, you bump the sound, dude. Okay, so we're back. That's good. So thanks you guys for keeping us heads up on that. Okay, so now, oh my heavens, child, if you are going to be here today, you have got to hold still. Are you going to hold still, or are you going to go upstairs and work on homework? Okay, go upstairs and work on your homework, and we'll do this later with you.
No.
Yes.
No.
No, then you need to pull yourself together and be here right now.
Okay.
Make your choice, because that is your choice. All right. So we're back, we've got sound, we're good there. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do then is we need to have a good connection between our two spheres, or half spheres, or domes, or whatever we've got. Because right now, they don't quite meet up yet. So, Kate, what do you think we can do for this? What do you think? Let me grab, I don't know what happened to our little block. Yes.
This side.
I could. All right, no ideas?
What? What are we talking about?
We need to make our two sides meet together.
Oh.
Okay.
I know.
Get what you're saying.
After
What happened to our little block? Our little sanding block?
After you sand them, we can solder them together.
Okay. Yes. So what we need to do, and I don't know what happened to our little sanding block that we were using with the clear sticky tape, but it should be, but it's not. I don't know where it went. So here's my other little trick that I like to do. Okay. I like to take just some tape, and I'm going to stick it on my piece, and then I can run my piece kind of in circles or figure 8 or anything like that.
Where is the clear sticky?
I don't know. Okay, now see this, girls? See how you can see an edge around that and it's even? That's what I want to see.
What did you do with the clear sticky tape?
I don't know. Louise, I have total studio bench goblins. Okay.
Huh?
She said the bench goblins stole it.
We're not the bench goblins.
Well, we never said you were. We just said the bench goblins stole it. Okay, so now listen to me. Listen to me. This is what you need to do now. I want you to take some tape, and I want you to do this to your pieces so that you get, no, I'm going to give you this tape right here.
Oh.
Okay, and look, it sticks to your fingers, so it makes it a little easier.
Okay.
Okay, so there you go.
So do you put it through, like, do you do a figure 8?
Someone asked what grit you use.
What? In this case, I think I'm using 320. Yep, this is a 320 grit. Do it, give it a little bit of pressure.
Did you give up on going in figure 8s?
And that's okay, circles work too. Okay, let's pick it up and look at it. So see how we have some spots that aren't quite even? Hang on, show these guys. No, I want you to show them. So we have some spots that are uneven, and you can kind of see that when you wiggle it around because the light will hit it in different ways. So keep going and just kind of do that figure 8. It works better if you do a figure 8. Do you know why? Kate, do you know why we do a figure 8? So a figure 8 is going to change the way your hand sits on this, and so you change the pressure and it gives you a much more even sanding. Okay, let's see. All right, almost there. So this, and see, like as I come around, I'm able to change kind of how my hand hits the pressure. Yeah, you can.
Did you already do this one?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I did. All right, so Kate, you do this
The
one.
ones that we already done, I'll put over
Okay.
here.
Come do that one. Yeah, and once you kind of get the feel for it, then you can go faster. But at first it takes you a little while to kind of get that hand coordination. See how it gets a little easier the more you do it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so lift it up and check it now. Are there any uneven spots, or is it completely flat evenly all the way around? There's some uneven spots, so go ahead and keep doing it. Okay. So what's another way you could do this if you don't have sandpaper?
Ooh, grab a sanding block. Wait, if you don't have a sanding block, then you
Yeah, you could do this with a file.
Oh yeah, I forgot. File. Or the sandpaper stick that you go boop.
Yeah.
Not boop, just go boop boop. Or just grab it. Done.
Yeah.
Boop.
But definitely this is one of the best ways to do this because you've got a bigger surface and so you can make it nice and even. All right, let's see it, Kate. All right, scoot on over. Let's see.
I want to do some.
Yeah, so there's still a little bit of unevenness and sometimes what you need to do too is turn it around.
I did.
Did you? Okay, and another thing that you can do too is you see where you have an uneven spot.
You can even see
and
the
you
mark.
put your finger there and give it a little bit more pressure in that little point.
You can see the marks that it's making too.
Yeah, you can. Oh, don't! Are you serious? Baby, you just blew dust all over everything. So that's okay, because now I'm gonna make you wipe down the bench top when we're done. Okay, so another thing now you know. So another thing you can do is you can put it onto a file and do this. But what is my problem with this method? Do you see it?
I don't know how to explain it.
My piece is bigger than the file.
Yeah.
Yeah, my piece is bigger than the
I
file.
have a way to hold it down very well.
Right. So the best way is just to do it on this, unless your file is wide enough for your piece. Okay. Now, here's another question for you. When I sand this, what is all of this stuff here on my sandpaper? Any ideas? The stuff, you know how she blew it? What was all of that?
That was like dust.
What kind of dust?
Like dust.
It was silver. It's silver dust. Okay, now especially if I'm using gold, do I want to just waste that?
No.
No, we want to figure out a way to keep all of that, right? So especially if you're using gold, you have little containers that are called sweeps containers, and usually it's just a box with a garbage bag inside of it. Okay, and what do you do with that box?
Take all of the dust pieces
Great. So what I would do at this point, so even though I have copper and I have silver in this, this would still be reclaimable. Okay, so I would take this over to that sweeps container and, you know, for my silver or whatever else, and I would dust this into that container. By blowing it, you blow it all over everything. And it's kind of fun to watch it be blown, huh? Oh, are you gonna be pouty now? Okay, then if you're gonna be pouty, I need you to go upstairs and do your homework. So those are your two options. I know, and that's why we're going over this, so I can teach you, right? Okay, so I'm now gonna move this out of here. Now another thing that we need to have on hand today is a round file. And the reason for that is because we need to make a hole. Now when I very first got started doing this, it was kind of fun. I'd already knew a little bit about soldering and things like that. And I wanted to, we're missing a copper one, guys. Do you have the copper one, Carrie? In your hands? Do you have a copper one in your hands?
No.
What happened to our copper one? We're missing one. Okay, see if you guys can find it for me. Oh, here it is. It flew over here when you blew. No, that's not it. Girls, I need you guys to find this if you guys want to make beads. Otherwise, we don't have enough. So anyway, what we need to do, we're looking for a copper one.
It's under there.
Ah, it was underneath the silver one. Good. At least they found it.
I hid it under there.
You're such a butt. You are a toad.
Ow.
Okay, so when I first got going on this, you know, I was working off of forums. I had taken a few little workshops, basic intro to soldering type of things like that in the Washington, D.C. area where we learned. So Ellen, you said that you reclaim all the silver dust and use it for refusing. I do too. Yeah, I usually do too. In this case, I've got a couple of containers that I use. Girls, stop. I have a couple of containers that I use. One that is dirty silver and one that is clean silver. Clean silver are going to be like my little clippings that have no solder or any other contaminants in it. So that I'm not going to put the dust in the clean silver one. But in my dirty one, I totally do, because the dirty one is going to have some copper. It's going to have some brass. It's going to have some wood shavings. I do my best to get all my saw blades out. So you just take a little magnet and go through and remove your saw blades. That's why I like this little thing. So he's a magnetic, and it's something from Fretz. It was not very expensive, but it's a nice high power magnet, and I can run that through all of my filings and my shavings or my bits and pieces, and I can remove all the saw blades. So, but yes, I do keep that. And then sometimes if I know that my filings are clean, if I know my filings are clean, then I might throw those into the clean scrap as well. Okay, but when I was going on this, we had just moved to Ohio. Kate was a baby, and I think probably at this point you were about a year old, maybe a year and a half old. And I really wanted to do more with metalsmithing. I mean, this was the very beginning for me, so I was pretty proficient at wire wrapping and doing wire jewelry and stuff like that. Yes, but not this kind of metal, because this stuff is not magnetic. So, correct, try it. Copper and silver are not magnetic. If they are, then they're not real true copper and silver. So it's really a good idea to always take a magnet with you to a gem show or any trade shows, and they say that something is sterling. If it's magnetic, it so is not sterling, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
What is something that is magnetic?
Yeah, the punches here are magnetic. My hammers are magnetic. So anyway, I looked around. There were no classes at the time. We lived in Ohio. We were in Akron. And even up in through Cleveland, there just were no classes in metalsmithing. And I found out that the Akron University, University of Akron, I found out that they had a metals program. And so I contacted the instructor there and I said, hey, I'm not looking for a degree. Don't want anything else. I just need to have somebody kind of work through some of these other advanced techniques with me. And I said, I looked through your curriculum. I'm pretty sure I don't need a beginner class, but can I just jump into your advanced class? One of the things that was on the beginner class that I had not yet done was a hollow form. And so in all of my wisdom, I thought, you know what? I can do a hollow form. I will take two domes and I will put them together, okay? And I did not know some of these things. Do you know what one of the most important things to have when you do a hollow form?
Have these punch things,
No.
this and these and those?
No, because I mean, obviously you're gonna have to have something like this to create this little bead, right? But you have to have a hole.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens if you don't have a hole?
Nope.
Things blow up, and I'm not joking. They completely explode. Why would that explode?
Because there's no place else to go.
Because what happens is you get all the gases inside that build up, and they will explode if they do not have an escape hole. Okay? I did not know this. Do you think my piece blew up?
Yes.
I was so lucky it did not. And you know what? I had no idea that it wasn't, I had no idea that that was even something that could happen. So here I created this beautiful, beautiful lentil bead. And actually it was just a little hollow form because it wasn't really a bead. It didn't have a hole. But here is this beautiful little hollow shape. And it was gorgeous. And I was so proud of it. And I went and put it out on these forums. And everybody was like, where's the hole? I'm all, wow, I haven't drilled a hole yet. And they're like, wait, what? You didn't have a hole and you soldered this whole thing together. And they're all, you are one very, very lucky person. Because, I have been in situations where I had a piece that we did in resin. And I had my back plate and I had the dome. And I did not solder the dome in there. Okay, but I put it in and then I poured the resin in. Well, the resin didn't cure. It didn't set up. So we burned the resin out. Okay, but that piece kind of sucked down and all of a sudden you heard, and it was at the school studio, you heard what sounded like a shotgun. I mean, and it was tiny. It wasn't even big, but it was tiny. So all of a sudden you hear this shotgun go off and everybody's like, what was that? And then a minute later you hear, or a second later you hear the tink, 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 tink on the other side of the studio. What was the tink, 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 tink? A very hot piece of metal that like flew all the way around across the room. So it was horrifying, right? It was so scary.
Especially if you hear a tink, 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 tink.
Yeah, and it's hot metal. Like if you had hot metal fall on the floor in here,
It would catch on fire.
well, it won't catch on fire, but it will certainly burn a hole in the floor. Right? So you have to be very careful, and yes,
And
you
if-
have to have a vent hole.
And if you have something like rubber, it will do this.
Yes, if you have something that is flammable or not non-flammable, it will catch on fire, as Kiari found out today.
On accident.
So the next thing then that we need to do is we need to get a vent hole into these. And one of my stop. Oh my goodness. Dude, you need to go do your homework. Go upstairs. We'll do this later with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull us into this camera, and let's come down here for just a sec. So what I like to do for creating a vent hole, and it doesn't have to be the hole yet, okay? So it does not have to be the total thing of what I'm going to have when I am done. Okay, stop. Dude, baby, are we learning this or are we not learning?
Everything?
If you want to learn, I suggest you pay attention because I'm not going to let you work with the torch today until you do this. So what I'm going to do is I don't want my hole right in the middle, okay, on this particular one. I'm going to bring this up here a little bit and I'm going to just mark. Now, I'm not going to mark both sides of my piece, okay, so it would be really difficult to line this up at this point in time if I did both the copper and the silver.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pick one piece. You choose copper or silver. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this round file, okay? And I'm just going to come in here. Let's see if I can hold this here. And it's going to be a little bit tricky until you can kind of get that groove going. And once we got the groove going, then I can start to go back and forth. Now, your file
I
cuts...
thought you said you can't go back.
You're right. Your file only cuts in one direction, right?
But if you go back and forth, it makes it easier for you.
Well, it doesn't cut when I pull it back. It only cuts when I go forward.
Yeah, but it's easier because you don't have to lift it up and you won't.
Yes, exactly. Very smart girl. Very, very smart girl. Okay, so again, I need to look here on the outside to make sure that I come down far enough. At this point in time, I'm not down quite far enough, so I still need to go just a little bit more. And I just noticed that I'm kind of coming off to the side
That
here.
sound that went tink, 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 tink. It probably could have been, because it could sound like a mouse.
No, it definitely sounded like a hot piece of metal hitting the floor.
That is really loud.
And we were so grateful it did not hit anybody.
And that it did not explode.
Oh, it did explode. That's
into
why it did
a
it.
million more pieces.
Yes, you are correct.
With that one little piece.
Okay, so now with this, see I've got one hole done. Now what I can do is I can just come straight across. And again, it's going to be kind of difficult to get that started. But once I've got it started, then it'll be a little bit easier.
you help
And
me
really, I
start
only need,
mine?
yes, I will help you start yours. Okay, there we go. So now,
Ding, 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 ding.
so now we have two holes. And if I put my copper on this, see how there's a little hole right there? Okay, that would be enough. But I might want it to be a little bit bigger. You can, or you can leave it that, whatever you'd like. So I'm gonna look at the other side. I also have a little bit of a hole there. So you guys can see that a little bit. So there is a little bit of a hole. They're pretty small. So I might take a second just to kind of enlarge these just a little bit more, just to make sure that we really have enough room for this to come out, okay? So that was gonna be better because see how it comes down a little bit more? Okay, that's kind of what we want to see here.
Hey, Mommy.
Yes, baby.
Is there any type of metal that could be magnetic that's like been soldered down like this?
Yeah, there's definitely metals that get soldered that are magnetic, but not any right here in the studio because I don't work with a lot of that type of stuff. All right, so let's see how much better that is.
Remember how you said?
Now that's gonna let some air out.
Remember how you said if you had like a thing like that, and if it was by a magnet, it would become a
Magnetic?
Like
Yes,
yeah.
this would become magnetic. Okay.
If it was
So-
like that.
Yes. So now, what do you think? Now let's say that we've got this. All right, let's say we have this. And I'm gonna work with you guys on yours after the video. Okay? We'll just do one. I
I
know.
want to try.
But we're already almost at an hour. So you're definitely going to do it. I'm gonna have you definitely do yours, but we wanna kind of get things going here. So what would be our next step, do you think? We wanna put our thing together, test our fit. Does it look like it fit well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like it fits really well. So how are you gonna solder this together? How are we gonna hold that? Where are you gonna put your solder? How are you gonna do that? Any ideas? No ideas?
Nope. Nom.
So remember how we talked about the different forms of solder?
I didn't even.
Okay, there's wire, there's sheet, and then there's paste. I never use paste. Paste is not a good friend of mine, right? But we can use the wire or we can use the sheet. Now,
Sheet on this one.
why would I use sheet? I mean, you are right. That's the one I would use. What's that?
It goes between it.
Yeah, it's going to be flat, whereas the wire, you're rounded. Now, what could I do to my wire to make it so it's not rounded?
Just use a sheet.
But what if I don't have sheet? What if all I have is wire?
You can cut the wire in half, I guess, if you can.
That would be really difficult, seeing as how my wire is only like 0.6 millimeters, if that, maybe 0.7.
You could try and melt it down a little bit, but
But if you try to melt your solder, do you know what happens to it?
no, but like
It balls up. What are some other tools that we have in here? There's actually one tool right here on the bench that can help you with that.
Help you with what?
Flattening your wire. What do you think?
hammer it.
I don't want to file it. I mean, hammer it. Yes, you can hammer it. You can stick it through a rolling mill, right? So you have a couple of different options. All right, let's get the soldering station over here. We'll put this over here for now so that we can, because as soon as we stop recording, I'll have you guys finish up yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do it even before you go get your homework all done, all right? All right, so let's get our soldering station over here. Now, in this case, I've got a couple of tools that are going to help me. Carrie, watch out, please move. Kate, will you go fill this up with some more water, please? There's 3 silver balls in there if you want to throw those in the pickle. Okay. Stop. I need you to actually be on task right now because, Kiara, we're about to do some soldering and you have...
My pills wet.
Well, you know what? I will help you with that, but not right now. You need to make a choice to stay on task. Thank you. Okay, so what do we need to do first, Kiari? If we're going to solder something, what do we need to do first?
You need to put the flex on it.
Not flex, but flux. Yes, we need to do flux. What, Kate?
Are you sure it's not flex?
I'm pretty sure this one's not flex. I don't know what happened to my paste flux. Oh, I got it. I took it back over to the other soldering station. Okay. So let's just, in this case, let's just dip this whole thing into our flux. I have a couple soldering stations.
Hey, Mommy, if you put it on here, won't this get it dirty?
The charcoal block? No, a matter of fact, it helps to kind of keep the oxidation down. So what I'm doing here is I am putting on a coating of this flux. Okay.
Bubbles everywhere.
Yep. All right, and what we want to do, let's get this into a position where it will lay flat like that. Okay. Now we're going to use a couple of tools made by Will. Remember who Will is? My friend Will Cobb.
Isn't that the William Cobb person that
Yes.
gives us the Zots?
Yes, William
And
Cobb.
he gave me that unicorn.
So we're going to use a couple tools. Thank you. I need more water than that. I'm going to use a couple of tools that he has sent me, and this is called the Will Hold. Okay, and it's going to help hold
magnetic.
things into place. Now, before we do that,
Magnetic.
we are going to use our sheet solder. And
Sheet solder.
Now, remember how last time I was talking about solder clipping pliers and I couldn't find them? I found them. They were hiding.
Where?
I think just on another one on my bench.
You said that those weren't it.
This wasn't the pair you pulled out.
Yeah, it was. I pulled those out and you're like, no.
Huh, I didn't see that. I thought I saw you with the shears. Okay, anyway, so with our solder clipping pliers, there's a little hole down here in the bottom. Let's pull that up on the camera. There's a hole down here in the bottom. I guess kind of the upper jaw here kind of is a blunt nose. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what?
1 hour.
1 hour. I know, we're almost done.
Bing, bing.
We're almost done.
37 people watching.
Nice. Okay, so.
Thank you for all of the 37 people that are watching.
Yes, thank you to all of our 37 people watching. Okay, so I'm just going to take and I'm going to clip just a few of these little things. Now, the reason I like these pliers is look at all my pieces.
Whoa.
They all look pretty much the same, right? They're about the same size, all these little pieces here. So what I can do now, where's my little paintbrush you tried to melt?
On accident, and I didn't try to melt it.
So I'm going to get some flux on this, and I'll pick up one of my solder
See
pieces.
it until I saw like a flame go poof.
And I'm going to lay it right here on the edge of my piece. See if I can get this.
I don't think you can.
Oh, he keeps
doesn't
falling
want
off.
to let you.
He really doesn't want to, does he?
Nope.
We get it wet a little bit. There we go. Now, I don't want to put it into my little vent hole, because why? What will happen?
It'll be bubbly, but it's wet.
Well, but I don't want to, yeah, exactly. What would be the purpose of the hole if I put that in my vent hole? Right? Because we need the vent hole.
Do you have a vent in here that goes outside?
Yeah. So, okay. So we're just going to put a few pieces on here. Now, this is going to be kind of our tricky part. So what also has to happen to our copper piece?
Copper tongues.
Yes, they are.
Why are they?
But okay, I don't, because there's one over there and there's one here.
Oh,
So what do we need to do with this piece, the copper piece?
you need to dip it in,
We also need to flux it, huh? Now what I'm going to
and then it has a
do,
bit of too much water.
it's okay. I'm going to just gently set this down on top of that. Okay, I want to make sure that it's
How
in
do
the
you
position.
know if it's hard to tell if the solder fell in.
No, I think it's okay. I think we're
How do you
sitting on
know
top
if
of
the
it
solder fell?
because I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool from my friend Will,
Don't forget this.
and we are going to hold this down into place. Oh man. And gently align it. Why do I want that tool?
Because if you don't, this could bubble up and go off to the side.
Yes. Yeah, it can make us lose our stuff. Okay, safety glasses on. You know what? Your safety glasses are upstairs on the marimba.
Oh well, we'll get them.
You want to use that pair? Okay. All right, so safety glasses on, hair is pulled back. Okay, and we are going to heat this up.
You know what? To make sure my hair doesn't fall out, I'll put it in my
All right.
shirt.
So now, torch goes in what hand?
Left hand, and the pokey thing goes in your right hand.
What's my pokey thing called? Do you remember, Kate? See, look at that bubbled up. See that? So my flux bubbled up on the inside, and now it's relaxing. So we just went through powdered sugar, and now where do you think we are?
Maple syrup,
Maple syrup.
and then we'll go to clear and glassy.
Yeah.
It doesn't go.
It's a little harder to see the
doesn't-
clear and glassy.
It doesn't go to a glass-looking thing.
Yeah, not on this one. Did you see that solder melt? So now what I want to do is I want to watch the edge.
I
Okay, and I just watched a whole ring of solder.
I think it's funny when your pokey thing gets stuck to the piece.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I just watched our whole piece. Our solder went all the way around, except for right there. Okay, and there it is.
I want to put it in.
Now you've got to be really careful with this
How do you
one.
put it in?
Yeah, this one's gonna be a little bit trickier, huh? Okay, always quench our pick. So tell you what, why don't you bring the water closer? Okay, go ahead and put it in. All right.
Oh, it's red.
Yep, so our copper will sometimes go red like that. But now we have a soldered piece. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in the pickle and know that you are going to get pickle inside of this. Okay?
Get it out.
Diane, yes, you can buy that tool from Will Cobb. He has an Etsy store, and when this video is done, I will put a link to his Etsy shop where you can get that. Or I believe you can just go out to Etsy and type in Will Hold, and you'll be able to find it.
Don't.
Yes, please don't. We don't want this completely soapy. Oh, good grief, I can't even talk now. We don't want it sopping wet, and we don't want it soaked. Okay.
I was only kind of cooling
Yes,
it off.
so go
it
ahead and go
doesn't
put that in the
catch on
pickle.
Fire.
All right, so I did this where I soldered it all in one phase. Some people, what they will do is they will solder the outer rim and then they'll put their piece together and then solder that together. It just kind of depends. Well, it's just easier for some people. In this case, it worked well because we have the tool to help hold it down. Okay, and this tool from Will is actually really nice. It pivots around, it's on a magnetic base, so you can move it around to different bases. Like he's got a couple different bases, one of which kind of hooks onto my annealing pan. So I can do that. There's one that holds tweezers. Let's see if I can pull this. These magnets are really strong. So there we go. So one that will hold a pair of tweezers as well. So you have a couple different options. It's a great little tool that he developed.
What about the one with? What about that one?
Yeah, you could use something like that. He did not make those.
Who made those?
GRS made those. So
GRS.
GRS is a company in Kansas. That's where I go to do like my engraving classes and stuff like that. So anyway, this is a great little tool.
Is Kansas in Canada?
No, Kansas is in Kansas.
Oh.
Kansas is a state, dude.
Where is Kansas?
Kansas is in Canada.
It's in the Midwest.
We're sorry, Kansas. You've been kicked out of the U.S.
Sorry, Kansas. No fun. Okay, so Kate, what will be our next step once that is done pickling? And here's another thing that's actually very, very important, because now I'm going to have that pickle on the inside of my bead. Okay, what is that pickle? Do you remember?
They said that we're beautiful like you.
Aw,
It
thanks.
says, hi, your daughters are beautiful like her mother.
Nah, thank you. So what is that pickle? What is in the pickle?
It's like acid.
It's an acid, right? And if you don't get that acid neutralized, it will continue to do its thing, right? So it will be very important for us to get that acid out of there. The thing that's going to happen right now, because all we have is just a little tiny vent hole.
Did you already read that one that
Yes.
says, can we buy the
Yes.
tool from Will?
Where were you? I even told them where they could go to find it.
I forgot, okay? I don't know.
So anyway, you need to get the acid out of that bead. Okay, so a couple of ways that you're going to do it. Obviously, we're going to stick it into the neutralizing solution. But if our bead is full of the acid, then the neutralizing solution may have a little bit of a difficult time getting into that, right? So what we're going to do is you can boil it out. So you could put it into a thing of boiling water. Okay, really hot water, and boil it out. You can do that. Stop it. Or you can you can blow it out, right? You can blow it out, but then you've got to still rinse it out. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to do while we have just the tiny little vent hole. What would make it easier to get that acid and everything else out of there?
If you went through and just made the hole that you needed for the bead.
Right, we're going to enlarge it. Now, what are my options for enlarging?
You could drill the hole.
Yes.
You could file the hole out.
We could drill a hole. We can file a hole.
Which take forever, but
Yes, filing does take forever. Filing does take forever. Okay, so now that my piece is a bead, if I wanted to drill my hole, what would I need to do? How would I need to hold it? How would I need to hold that bead? Sorry, I looked at a comment and threw me off. What would I need to do to hold the bead so I could drill it? I don't want to hold that in my hand and try to drill this.
You would hold it with tweezers like this.
That's still kind of holding it in an unstable way. How can I make it stable?
Ooh!
What do you think?
Either that or you could use these.
No, not quite. I want it to be more stable than that even. I want it to be nice and steady. What do you think? Oh, somebody said hi from Malaysia. Do you know where Malaysia is?
It sounds like Asia.
It's in Asia. It's all the way over on the other side of the world.
Asia sounds like Asia. It's Asia.
Okay, so if I want to drill a hole and hold it steady, think about a vise, right? Now I can, okay, stop. You need to go do your homework, baby. You are so off point today.
No.
Okay, then you need to kind of pull it together, please.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so Kate, do me a favor. Go put those, hang those back up so we have some room here that we can do this. So I want to have, thank you. I want to have some way to.
You spilled water.
I did spill some water. Yeah, it happens. All right, let's move this out of the way because we don't want to put it completely away because you guys are going to be doing it. Let me grab our vise.
Wow.
All right, so
Why is there a tissue on the ground?
I don't know. Okay. So here I have a vise. Now I still need to do something to this vise so that it doesn't really damage my bead. What do you think that might be, Kate?
yeah, like things that go on.
Yeah, we want to have some kind of way to protect our jaw. Now in this case,
I think
What?
I know. I was gonna say, you know how most things have like rubber
yeah,
on them?
yeah, you could put rubber in here. On my
I
big
didn't
vise,
think of that.
on my
I didn't know you could use that for that.
yeah, on my big vise I have copper, but we can also put our bead. So pretend this is our bead, you know, and we
Cushion.
can bring this in here, and then we would
Actually,
close it up.
Wait.
So you like that.
You
Well,
could
yeah.
have a bead like that.
Yes. Oh, you're pushing it through though.
Sorry.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and go get that bead? Go ahead and put it in the neutralizing solution, and then just bring it over.
I'm gonna do it, please. Let me do it.
Both you guys can do it together. Oh, she is on one today. And you know what? Homework isn't even a quarter of the way done yet. And we have Taekwondo tonight. So it's going to be a really crazy day. Helen, you love my studio. It looks perfect. Oh, you are very sweet. This is my mess. And that's not even the messiest part of it yet. The messy part is over there. Holy cow, everything is such a mess. I wish I were one of those people that like put everything away when I was done and make it nice and neat and clean. So when I come back in the next day, I'm ready to work. I'm working on that. I need to be that way, but I'm so not. Because right now, especially with everything that's going on, I'll do my project and then I'm like, okay, I am done. I got to hurry up and do the next thing. And I just leave everything. So then I come in the next morning and I'm like, oh man, I still got to clean up yesterday's project as well as set up today's project. Maybe one day I'll be one of those organized people, or maybe I'll just always be messy. And you know what the problem is that I absolutely hate clutter. And I'm the worst clutter bug. It's terrible. All right, you guys got the bead? Come on. Bring it over. Yeah. So, give us, Diane, you want to see a tour of the studio, mess and all. You know what, maybe we can do it. When I come back in after cleaning, I'm sure the gremlins have been there. Oh, you have no clue. You know what, my gremlins, okay, so this is actually full of water. So I have an apron on, and I'm just going to tap out. Oh, this has a ton of water in it. And you know what, a lot of that is going to be that pickle. right? So that's why I was saying
Those
it's
are
so
people bad?
important. Yes, matter of fact, as soon as I get done with this, I'm gonna go wash this apron so that if there is
I'm gonna go
acid
wash
in
my
this,
hands now.
yeah, so if there is acid in this, I don't want it eating away at my apron. So this is something I would have normally done just on the towel, okay? But I also don't want to stick this into my vise and put my drill bit into this, because what is it going to do to my drill bit?
Away at it.
Yeah, it's going to start to erode my drill bit, right? Okay, most of this now is empty, I think. So hopefully that was mostly just, you neutralized this, right?
I only know that
We put it in there. Try.
Oh, you believe, you don't know. That's super helpful.
I don't know if you have soap.
So, of course I have soap.
I didn't see
What are you
soap.
talking about?
I
There's
didn't
like
see
2 big
hand soap.
things of it over
I
there.
didn't see hand
Oh,
soap.
you're a goober.
I'm
So
wearing
now,
smart
okay,
soap.
now I'm gonna put this in here and I'm gonna start to close this down, but I'm going
Carefully.
very gently. I don't want to collapse my bead, right?
That's why I said
So,
very careful.
yes, very, very carefully, because I do not want to collapse my bead.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where's my drill bit?
It's almost like a soft stone.
He's kind of a little drill bit. Let me see if I've got a larger one over here real
It's like
quick.
a soft stone, like your stone that you chose for your necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost like a soft stone, except it's made out of metal.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Cool.
So here I've got some drill bits that
Are they on tape
they are taped. Why are they taped?
so they don't fall?
Yeah, so that they don't all fall out. So during shipping and whatever else. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a decent sized one here. See if I can get them out of here and put this. The reason I like these, why do I like these drill bits? Do you know? Can you tell?
Because they're small.
Well, not because it's small, but because it's got the shank on here.
What's a shank?
This is the shank, and it's a 3/32 inch shank. Why is that important?
So you can fit it in the thing.
So I can fit it into here, exactly. So
What
now,
happens if it's too small and it falls all the way back? How do you get it out?
well, luckily they're all longer than what that is. But if it all fell down, then I would just loosen it up and kind of drop it out that way.
Actually, that.
Okay,
Does it make the hole bigger?
not necessarily.
Like that hole?
No, not necessarily. All right, so I'm going
When
to,
you loosen it
let's see,
up?
let's move this camera. Hang on, we got to switch cameras here for just a sec. So let's see if we do this, and we'll zoom that in. Kate, move it to this camera, please. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, my hole is right here. Okay, and I wanted to move it to this camera so you guys could see what I was doing, because if not, then my hand will cover it all up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my foot pedal here. We're gonna just kind of get a little bit of lubricant, and I'm gonna place this right into that hole.
Your hand still covers it up.
It does, doesn't it? All right, let's try that. I need you to move, baby, sorry.
Well,
Is that a little better? There, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna be very, very careful. And I'm just gonna go slow, and I'm letting the drill bit do the work for me. Okay, and there it is. And so now if we look at our hole, let's see, open up our vise a little bit, and now we look at our hole, it's a much bigger hole, right? And that will definitely allow for us to get all this moisture and stuff out of here. So now I'm going to do the same thing again on this side. Watch out, baby. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. There we go. Okay. There's our second hole. All right, so there's our first one, there's our second one. And now, if I've done it correctly, the wire should actually come through. But if I haven't done it correctly, then it'll be kind of difficult. And what I need to do is bring my drill bit in and just kind of work it a little bit differently, so that way then I can kind of open it up so that it goes straight across. Does that make sense? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I do the same thing over here real quick. There we go. So that way then it's just straight across. Okay, So now, what do you think the final steps for this part are? What do you think, guys?
Probably cleaning it out.
Okay, so well, we still need to clean it out, but I also want to clean up these edges around here, right? So now let's move, go put that back, please, just down here in the bottom basket over there.
When are we gonna do ours?
As soon as we are done with the video. We're almost done. So the next thing I would do, actually bring me one of the bench pins, please. And then we'll do this part real quick. Hurry fast, because you're right there. Yep, here we go. Thanks. Okay, so I'm gonna put my bench pin on here. Let's bring you guys over to this camera. So now what I want to do is I want to clean up the edges of this. So I'm just going to take my file and just come around the edge and just kind of clean that up so that we have kind of a nice smooth edge all the way around our piece.
Boom.
Hang on.
Found it all.
Okay, there we go. All right, what do you think, Kate? You think you're ready to solder yours together and get this done? Because once I have this, then the only thing left is to polish this up.
Yep.
All right, so what I may actually even try to do, and see, look, we still had some moisture in there. See all that? So there was still some water in there. But anyway, so what I would do now is I would still kind of file this down just so that I've got a nice clean seam so that there's no ridge or anything like that. Then I would polish it, okay? I might, at this point, I would probably go and put this into some boiling water and get all of that stuff out of there. Or another thing that I can do is I can just go and dunk it in some water and bring it back and hit it with a torch. Now keep in mind, if I hit it with a torch, what happens to my metal?
It's gonna heat up in my...
It'll oxidize it again, right? So, you know, you have a couple of options. The boiling the water is probably your best option for that. And really, all I would need to do, like, it doesn't have to be boiling. I've got like a little teapot type of thing where I heat up the water. Hang on just a second. Where I heat up the water and I would just pour that into a bowl. You know, it's for like making tea or coffee or whatever else. And then I would just stick that in there and that would help clean all of that out as well. So those are your options. From here, we would polish it up. You can now stick your wire or a chain through this. Now, depending on what your chain looks like, that's a pretty small hole. So you may need to make a larger hole as well. Okay, what do you think?
A piece of metal.
Kind of fun, huh?
Here.
Hey, what if I wanted to really pop the design on this?
Mommy,
what do you think I could do?
Look where the metal's hidden.
Yeah?
Take a marker and then
Right here.
Yeah.
color it.
Oh.
Yes. So here's one of the things that I like to do for this. Okay, let's get you onto the camera a little bit better here. Zoom you in. There we go. So here's one of the things I like to do. I'll just take kind of a Sharpie. And I usually do this after I have already, what's that? Yeah, no, it's okay. So I'll do this usually after I've already done my polishing or whatever else, but I figure we'll just show you guys right here real quick. So, and my Sharpie is dying. So it works really well when you've got kind of a more fresh marker. Kiari, stop.
Dying Sharpie, huh?
Kate, where's that little pad that I had you cleaning with?
Because Kiara took it, remember?
Oh man, Kiari, where's the little pad? Here it is.
I gave it back to you, remember?
Okay, here's our little pad. So these are little polishing pads. You can get these from toolcandystore.com. And again, I'll put links down there for that as well. So now what I'm gonna do is just remove that Sharpie from, you know, the high areas. And now see, look at how my design will pop.
What do you mean pop?
Well, see, look at how much that design really sticks out now.
Whoa.
See that? Mm-hmm. So, and that's just with a Sharpie. But there's other things that you can use too, like liver of sulfur or, you know, other types of alcohol inks, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So hopefully that answers some of you guys' questions on how to make a metal bead. This bead right here is a very shallow bead, so it's very, very low domed, UFO shaped almost. So what?
Can I put the Sharpie on this and then clean it off?
Yeah, you can do that.
No, it looked like a bird.
UFO looks like a bird.
A UFO is an unidentified flying object.
It is.
It's an unidentified flying object. Could be an unknown bird.
It could be an unknown bird. It could be a number of things, right? Like it could be a baseball not knowing what it was. So, Ellen, you would use a round ball on the tip of your flex shaft to finish the hole. Exactly. That is, you know what, that was such an on-point thing that I did not mention. Yes, I would definitely go back and use that ball burr to kind of clean up that hole and give it a really nice rounded look to that as well. So that's a really good point. Thank you so much. And Ellen, yes, definitely you could use that in your flex shaft. I used my micro motor, so flex shaft, micro motor. You could even do that in a drill press. So there's a number of options that are out there that you can use for that part of it. So what we are going to do then, I guess we will sign off and we will finish up our lesson so you guys don't have to watch everything all over again, because I know it's getting kind of long. Plus it's already been an hour and a half. It's kind of fast, isn't it?
An hour and an extra half.
An hour and an extra half. That is what it has been. So thank you guys for joining us. Always to, let's see, Louise, yes, I do use baking soda and water to neutralize that pickle. So thank you. And then SSMM, I am wonderful. Thanks so much. It is the industry of our ancestors, the pharaohs. Well, I appreciate all of your guys' support. Thanks for the comments. And you guys, one of the ways that you guys could really help me is if you like the videos, when it's all done with the live part, just go back and tell it that you like our videos. Give us a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. But if you hated it, please tell me why. So,
because of us, then just why are you here?
I guess you don't have to watch. Right? But anyway, subscribe to the channel. If you guys would like to have notifications of when I'm going to be live, then make sure you turn on the bell, ring that little bell and tell it that you want all of your notifications for us.
1:45.
Yep, and we will be back at 1:45. We're going to try to be here like Mountain Time every weekday. So you guys can catch us here 24 hours almost. Actually, now like 22 and a half hours. Right? So, and you guys, we are looking for some new ideas as well. I'm trying to keep them not too complex, although I know that I've taken the girls into some pretty complex topics in the last couple of weeks. Like this is definitely a more complex one. It's not a beginner one. But
still pretty.
If there's something that you guys would like to know or learn, let us know, because then maybe I'll make that part of our little teaching thing. They like the girls. They said they love you. I love my girls.
Thank you.
Even this one that gives me a hard time. Huh, baby?
She's a butthead sometimes.
She's a toad.
And you sleep on me
I
sometimes.
sleep on you? What? I think that goes the other way around. You sleep on me.
No, sometimes when we're...
Well, I guess you can set that bead down there for a second.
Sometimes when you're tired, you grab a pillow and put it on my butt and sleep on it.
I did yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
Your butt was so perfectly positioned. Put a pillow on that butt and sleep. At least she has an infectious laugh. Okay, can I address soldering a bezel onto a textured piece? Oh my goodness, that's a can of worms that I don't know if I want to go into that with these girls.
Ew.
Yes. Glenda, I'll consider it. There's a few different things and it is very difficult, and it's difficult to do in a live video. But I will definitely consider that. That's something that we can look at, soldering a bezel onto the textured piece, because it is hard. It is very difficult to do that, because what happens is your solder flows into everything. So you have to use a couple different things, but that is actually one of the things I did consider. So we'll look at that. Have I done any precious metal clay? David, very little. When I work with clay, I guess you'll put that down there for a second again. When I work with clay, it looks like a 3-year-old did it. So I've not done a whole lot with clay. That is definitely not my forte. More fabrication has been mine.
Found this.
But Kate has done a lot with polymer clay.
Yeah. All the clay stuff hasn't been set up yet, though.
No.
Some more stuff with clay, though.
I know we need to do some clay stuff and resin and stuff like that.
There's
So
some stuff with resin. It's all set up over there.
I know, but it's over there.
It is over there. They can't see it.
No.
It's a mess, too.
Yes. Like the whole rest of the studio.
True.
Oh, hey, let's see. I was going to say, can we do, no, we can't do a live video with this. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do a video tour tomorrow. I'll see about setting something up that we can do that. So
Maybe we could just do like a video, like it wouldn't be live, but we could post it at the live time, and we could just do like a video tour, and that could be like our live video for the
your
day.
live video for the day, the studio tour. No, because they would want it live so that they could ask the questions.
But we could do like a Facebook one
Well, you can do it live on here too.
on your phone.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah, so we'll come up with something. We'll come up with a studio tour. Although you guys will all hate me at the end of it, so. All right, you guys, we will catch you guys tomorrow. Again, come back, leave us some comments down in the video and let us know what else you'd like to see or any other comments for that matter. Just keep them nice because we're nice people, huh?
I think so.
I think so too. Have a good day, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody. Have a happy unicorn day.
Bye.
Bye.